Hey bakers and bakettes, today I'm going to show you how to make a moist old-fashioned pound cake. Here are the things you will need. 2 sticks of butter, a half a stick of shortening or a half a cup, 3 cups of sugar, 3 cups of flour, 5 eggs, 1 cup of milk, a half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I think I said everything. And right here you're looking at my ingredients. I've already added the salt and baking powder to my flour and sifted it. So it's ready to be mixed. So what you want to do first is you want to cream your sugar and butter and shortening. I first cream the butter and shortening together, and then I add my sugar gradually. And this is always going to be your first step when you're making a cake. You always want to cream your sugar and your butter. After your sugar and butter is well incorporated, you want to add your eggs one at a time. I crack my eggs in a bowl first. I sometimes crack it right over the mixing bowl, but my dad had to remind me that I am not the cake boss and I'm not an expert. So now I crack my eggs elsewhere and put them in the mixer one at a time. You might want to try that if you don't want a crunchy cake as well. Okay, now that our eggs and sugar and butter are mixed in together, it's time to add the flour and the milk. You're gonna toggle between the flour and the milk. So you'll add your flour, well, some of your flour, then you'll mix it, and then you'll add some milk, and you'll mix, and then some of your flour, and you'll mix, and your milk until everything is gone, or until you've mixed it all into the cake. I always say a rule of thumb is to start with dry and end with dry. So I start with my flour and I end with my flour. Now after I've mixed everything, I start going around the bowl to make sure there's no flour that hasn't been incorporated into the cake mix, and make sure I get all the flour within the cake mix. So just check your cake bowl to make sure that everything is mixed well. Then I give it another mix and I add my teaspoon of vanilla. Now I got this vanilla when I was on a cruise in Jamaica. Oh, and it is so divine. The recipe only calls for 1 teaspoon, but I like my cake to have a little extra vanilla, so I always add a little more. Don't deviate from the recipe until you have tried the recipe the regular way. And if you like a little more vanilla, add more vanilla. I love, love, love the flavor vanilla gives a cake. Okay, so now I have to prepare my bundt pan. And what I do is I add butter or oil around the inside of the bundt pan, and then I add flour. And this just helps your cake come out the bundt pan when it's done. It just makes it come out so much easier if you do this. So make sure you not only oil it, but you flour the pan as well. You want to put your cake mix evenly around the bundt pan So you want it to be pretty even so your cake will cook evenly. You want it to be even so your cake will cook evenly. Okay, so make sure you've already preheated your oven to 350. And this cake takes about an hour and 30 minutes or 90 minutes. I start checking mine within an hour because different pans and different ovens cook differently. Once I take it out and I think it might be done, I stick a toothpick in it. If the toothpick comes out clean, it's done. Okay, doing the toothpick test. This cake is ready to eat. It smells delicious. You can start smelling the cake, and that'll also be an indicator of it might be time to check the cake. So, bon appetit. Enjoy.